Hi, I'm Garen Hano, and this is the Aviation 242 GPS presentation. I'm doing mine on the Garmin G1000 integrated flight management system. Uh, the G1000 is what I'm currently using in my instrument training, so I'm getting very familiar with it. The physical components of the G1000 are the primary flight display, which is on the left in front of the pilot, the audio panel in the center, which is what you use for selecting your comm and nav radios and some other audio settings on there, and then the multifunction display, which has things such as your engine gauges, moving maps, stuff like that. The G1000 replaces the analog instruments with the line replaceable units, such as the air data computer and the AHR system, the attitude and horizontal reference system, to combine everything into an easy to use display that increases situational awareness. The primary flight display, as you can see, your traditional 6-pack of instruments are all displayed on the primary flight display, such as your airspeed indicator, attitude indicator, altimeter, your vertical speed indicator, and your horizontal situation indicator. The turn coordinator is there's two pieces that make up the same information you get from the turn coordinator. One is the slip skid indicator, which is located at the top of the uh, attitude bank angle attitude indicator, and then you have what you call your turn rate trend vector, and which gives you your rate of turn in uh, 6 seconds. So if your half standard rate turn is the first line right here, the standard rate turn is when your trend vector is all the way over to this line. So um, the primary flight display also gives you, if you're on an instrument approach, it'll give you your localizer. So you have your localizer and also your glide slope intercept that you traditionally have with your um, your round dial. If you're doing a GPS approach, then it's same. It looks very similar to what you have with an ILS approach. You get your glide path intercept and your actually I don't even know what it's called. It's just your course. And then next we have the multifunction display. It's the screen on the right that sits in front of the co-pilot station. There's a lot of useful information. You have your engine gauges that show you, your engine health, your RPMs, fuel flow rate, fuel quantity, temperature, all that good stuff. One of the great things about the G1000 is if, say, your oil pressure starts to drop, you will get an alert on the PFD that's kind of hard to miss, whereas in the traditional analog gauge system, you have to include that in your scan really to see something that's noticeable. And you may get an annunciator light, but if you're not training yourself to look at that annunciator panel, you may miss it. Our navigation frequencies are on the MFD, they're up at the top left. Actually, on both, they're at the top left. And your communications frequency, I have shown the flight plan window, but they're actually, you can scroll through a number of different windows, pages and windows. There's a nearest function, there's airport information, waypoint information, nav aid information windows you can go through to give, you get a lot of information about where you're going, frequencies, all kinds of stuff. And then if you have the integrated GFC 700 autopilot, you'll have some buttons here under the heading knob on the MFD to control the autopilot. Some additional features of the G1000, if they're equipped, you can have a topographical and terrain information. You can get traffic alerts either from the traffic information service or through the ADS-B system, XM or ADS-B weather, which is useful, and even get XM radio if it's equipped and you subscribe. So one of the things I didn't have a slide for, but you can also get synthetic vision as well for the PFD, and that way, along with your, let me get back to it. So along with your attitude indicator, here the screen would be filled in with the terrain view as seen. So if you've got some mountains up here in the distance, they'll show up on your PFD, and they'll be color coded if they're below you, above you, that kind of stuff. So anyway, hope this is useful. I highly recommend the G1000. I know it's a little more expensive to rent, but the situational awareness that you gain is well worth the price. Thanks.